Business loan bad practices to be careful about. Warning, this can cause you a lot of frustration and mistakes and journeying down somewhere to a final destination you do not want to take part of. Hi, this is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I'm a business loan broker expert who's been able to help a lot of businesses get the right type of financing with the right strategic partnership and roadmap longer term without over-promising, under-delivering, doing these sleazy sales tactics. I don't even like to use the word sales or sell. I come from an academic background. I'm going to treat you very fair, like a human being, a person first with emotions, and then in business, which I get all of this and how it works. I've been in this industry long enough with multiple different products and services, so I will help you in that. No further introduction. What I do want to get into, and I'm going to try to end this video shortly, is some of the bad practices you maybe have or will or others are going through that you should be careful about when searching for business loans. I know this is a bit different than other videos you've probably seen me make or haven't, where I talk about how to get instant approvals, how to get up to 2 million, up to 5 million, even 0% interest for 6 to 18 months and up to 150, if not 250,000. And the secrets to doing that through business credit cards, which is one of the best ways to leverage your businesses through those business credit cards, separating your personal from business. So I'll link that video down below where you can again see the 4 secrets to getting business credit cards up to 150, if not 250,000. And I review a few things in that video, so you can check that out after this. But what I recommend is being careful about who you turn to. There are many people who may be just influencers. Maybe they just have gathered a huge following and they say the words and it sounds so good and it resonates with you, or somewhat does, or maybe it doesn't, but you're like, I think this is my destination where I'm just going to click something in the description and just go through with it. And so I'm not saying they're not saying the right things. Others, it's more of a question. But as someone like myself who deals with the lenders directly, also indirectly, the right underwriters, the right internal team, and I have multiple services and I have a Rolodex of people, if not myself, I'm able to connect you. And I'm looking through documentation with my team. I'm able to see who's the best lender, making sure you're going to the right one, not the wrong ones. And that's what I want to get into right now. So, have you ever gone to Google? Of course you have. But have you typed in something like how to get a business loan? And maybe you typed in how to get a business loan for a restaurant business loans, or cash advance, online bank loans, or whatever it may be. Here's an example where it says how to get a business loan. And you may have run through this before in a similar search, or this could be something in another search engine, etc. But if you scroll down here, there are many search results, as you can see there. And then underneath, you see sponsored. So these will be the ads. Anytime you see something that says sponsored, and Google has this way with their algorithms and how they update things on what the titles are sometimes. So you might see it different in time, but these are the ads. Now, too many times people, and I wouldn't have known this myself, at the very beginning, I was more like, okay, let me just go through these and I'll click through. Maybe I didn't give them my information, or I did, but I regretted doing that because what happens is, not with all of them, but you're going to be getting bombarded with a lot of emails for one. You're going to probably get bombarded with a lot of lenders, organizations, wondering how did they get my information. But you had like subscriber giving them your information, so they were allowed to send you information, or they probably didn't say that and they disguised that. And now your information may be getting shopped around, shipped around, your credit. And maybe if it isn't, okay. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to be getting bombarded with a lot of lenders that may not even be best suited for you. They're just trying to make quick money or somehow, and they're spending a lot of money on advertisements per keyword. It could be like $60 per keyword, 30, 20, $10, $5, whatever that price is. And I've done some Google ads myself, but to a degree like this, where you're spending that amount of money. But be very careful when you come through an ad like this, when you see something like sponsored. And again, this is a bit of a different video. Down below, I'll leave more information as well as a questionnaire if this is your first time or isn't. Fill that questionnaire out and I'll get you a very personalized and customized email response on your best funding option and options. None of this fluff, none of this submit it here. You're going to get sent 30 different lenders. Now you're overwhelmed in your inbox and you're not getting all the in-depth information. With me, you'll get that education and more than what you can see through ads, through blog posts, through just customer reps and all of this stuff. There's more that goes into underwriting, a lot, the deeper process, and there's things that change in the market. So here you see NerdWallet. I'm not saying they're not credible sources. Don't misconstrue my words. I'm not saying that they are not legit either. You see a Lendio there, but you have to be careful. I wouldn't give them my information, either would I with others. I probably just skim through it and look over it. But I would consult with an expert, somebody who has direct lender partnerships and understands how to review documentation. And you have to learn and know these three things, more so on my part, and I'll educate you on them. It's credit, cash flow, collateral. Cash flow, revenue based. We're looking at, do you have any income within bank statements? It could be personal income statements, personal bank statements, excuse me. If you're using a personal account, and there's not too many lenders in that space. So having a business checking account is most appropriate. And I can go into all the requirements. Each service is different, and I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll try to leave a document down below. If not, look at the questionnaire form. But I wouldn't just want to go through here. You click through. Let's see what it brings up. Directly to how much money are you looking for. So it's going to take you through this questionnaire sequence. So if I were to select 1 to 5K, how long have you been in business? We'll just hypothetically, and then what's your personal score, time in bit, or what kind of entity, what's your company's industry, just say that. What is your name? What is your email address? So once you give them your email address, excuse me, I mean, you'll be taken to another step. You might have login access somewhere, or they'll tell you, hey, thanks for your information, or they'll give you extra steps on all of this. And I wouldn't want to do that. I learned my lessons. And what ends up happening is, whether it's through them or someone else, they can protect that, but at the same time, you may be getting bombarded from other people and wondering, how do they get your information? So what happens when you go into like a pre-qualification application and you give your credit? What happens is, it's not always their fault, but there's other people who are purchasing from the credit bureaus credit information, and they can tell where you've applied. They can tell when you've applied, what credit score you have with your application, and then they can be bombarding you. There's syndication leads, so you have to be very careful about who you give your information to. Even if it's just a soft pull, the lenders know who and where you've applied to. They see you on their data merge system, which is something that they go by. And they know, they communicate with one another. How long ago did you apply? It was just 30 days ago you applied with this lender, although you did. You went over here, we're not sure about you. And it looks like you're just shopping around. They don't want to work with you. Some others will, with less integrity or less standards, and they're just willing to take on more so they can build that reputation and that clientele. Be very careful. There's A tier, B tier, C tier, C tier, D tier, and above, etc., on the type of client you are. And you fit into a bucket with terms, with rates, with the maximum amount of funding, your industry, the fundability details to your credit, time in business, revenue, etc. These are things that I can help navigate you in. So over here, we can scroll down to, you're going to see more. These are more organic results. See them from NerdWallet. Sure, I'm not saying they aren't helpful. If you were to click in here, how to apply and get a business a loan in 5 steps. Sure, that's helpful. Like, let's go through this post. Yes, you can learn some simple steps, and I can guide you on this and even in more depth. Can you afford loan payments? That's obvious. Loan calculators. When to get a business loan from online lenders. Just some things to look out for. When to get a business loan from micro lenders. Gather your application material depending on the services and apply for a loan. So this could be a little bit more in depth, of course, but they can only give you so much in a blog post at times. But others can be even more in depth. It's just, it's not as clear on the surface as you make it out to be, or they make it out to be. There's a lot more that goes into this and that's involved. You have to also know each part of the app sequence, the underwriting, when this part comes up, what will I communicate? When will I communicate? What will we expect in terms of documentation? Has it changed for the current year, calendar year, last year's? Do we need tax? Do we need financial statements? Do we need profit and loss and balance sheets? What do we need? Or do we need minimum documentation for certain ones? Others, they'll tell you certain underwriting guidelines, but those change. You might see it on a table somewhere, but that has to be something that you have to, that I'll open up to, and I'll make sure you know about it because I work with the best. So again, making sure you're careful about just going through these, even if they're just organic listings. Some of mine may appear, not all the time are they appearing at the top, because these guys have spent a lot more time, money, effort and perhaps they hired a whole bunch of people to do it for them. But not saying that it's discredited. I'm just saying be very careful. I wouldn't go through them now that I know all this. Even with an on deck, they're very reputable, and I've helped out a lot of business owners get them, but they don't accept too many, especially in this market. You have to be an A paper client. And just because you're an A paper with above 50,000 in monthly revenue, and even on your lowest month, 2+ years time in business, 700 plus credit, et cetera, doesn't mean they are best. There are other A-tier lenders, and we've given people a chance where we go in an in-house look where I can pull from those direct lender partnerships I already have. You can go indirect, indirect, indirect right now is the best, and it should be the best moving forward for many reasons. And we go, okay, we're enticing on deck. We really wanted this one over here. No, we wanted that one. Okay, maybe on deck was the one. Nope. Now this one was it. Okay, that's best for you and your industry. So you can't just go over there and say, hey, I'm going to go and apply to an on deck and say that'll solve all problems. And then you get a response and you're questioning and you're in doubt. And no matter how much certainty they give you, you didn't even get to be looked at by others, and they protected your credit. We protect your credit, your safety, and privacy, unlike a lot of others. I'm not going to say who and what names, but you submit your information to them, boom, 30 different lenders already in your email. I've had clients who ask me, hey, Michael, did you send these lenders over, organizations? Because I was getting bombarded by like 20 different, no, it's not from me. We protect your privacy. So be very careful. What you see on the surface isn't always what you get. They make it all shiny, marketing material and all that. Be very careful. So here's another search, and then we're going to go into another document and we'll close up. So if I just typed in business loans, I'm not saying these are not credible, but they're not always your best. Going to a best money 10 best business loans, if we click through these, okay, they just give us a listing. You might want to click through them. You're curious to do that. See, I wouldn't go through these. I wouldn't go through them. I wouldn't go through them. I wouldn't just go solely through them. I wouldn't go through them right away. I wouldn't do it this way at all. And this is just going to give you a brief overview of the pros and cons. And there's more that I can go into in depth and what they would do, what they would look at, but not necessarily are those in your best interest to go through. There might be a much better solution. Usually there is. And I usually and meet most offers out there with myself and my team. We're usually the most competitive, I'd say. And we even have a meet and beat $500 gift card guarantee. So if you have an offer and you decide to let us know, and we can just see, okay, what do you have a contract? We have to verify, of course. You can't just tell us you have an offer, not be able to verify. And we were able to beat it, get you better, then we can give you that. Or we can, if we didn't meet it, let's just say if we didn't meet it, that's the point. If we didn't meet that offer, then we could give you a gift card. Now, if we were to meet it, of course, we wouldn't give you it because we beat that offer. And so these are just some of the things. We even have a Connect Cash where I can give, you can, when you get funding, you go to someone else in your network or someone outside and you share with them the service and they get funded, then you get 2% on all their fundings. So that way you can use it to pay down the remaining balance, pay it all off. It's much cheaper. Come back, get more, same lender, other lenders, et cetera. You're not over leveraging. And or 1% on all employee retention credits. So these are just some of the ways that you have to be careful about just searching and seeing, oh, well, there's something there. That's where I'm going to click through. Because where that information gets stored, where it gets pushed out to, and how it gets pushed out, why it got pushed out. There's so many things. You get rings, you try to unsubscribe, they're still there. They're still enticing you even when you're not subscribed to them. And it's just, you have to be careful. It's a very volatile industry. I'm not like that. It's just a lot of people are, and they're just going to bombard you. They're going to be like, well, I'm just going to try to get the client. I don't do that. So be very careful. Now, I'm going to get into, let's see, this questionnaire and we'll close up. So this questionnaire, I'm going to leave it for you down below in the description where you can select from one of two options. It may look different over time, but here's what it looks like. If I'm a non-startup with 3 months in business, I click here, plus you'll get a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist. Here you will fill out some simple details. It should take you no longer than a minute, 30 seconds, realistically. And you can be somewhat accurate. Just try to be as much as you can in filling out simple details again. And it is very safe and secure. I know a lot of people feel like, well, if I'm giving information, I don't want to be bombarded with emails on that. I'm going to be educating you. So I'm going to be sequencing you into my campaign where I will then be educating you while I'm reviewing. What I do is I evaluate and analyze your answers, and I pre-underwrite files. I know what those underwriters and those lenders want. And so what I do then is I'll give you an email response back with your best funding option and options. You'll likely see something on the thank you page that alludes to that. You'll probably see a video if it's there. but it is very time and energy efficient for you and I. And so without making any mistakes. And it is very safe and secure. Again, it is in your best interest to do this so you understand you're not falling prey to these predators, or if they're not predators, you're just like, where do I go? And you're going to complete it and get this from a real business loan broker expert. Please be serious and responsive. Do not be that person wasting my energy and time. I'm very punctual and disciplined. And one of my biggest pet peeves is people who submit these and they do other things, or they say one thing and they do another. Your word is not your bond. Pretenders versus action takers. Pretenders then becoming action takers. Okay. But don't be that person. Be responsive, be open-minded, allow for feedback, and be patient, pretty much. And you're going to get the best through me. So you're going to get that. And it may look different if it's startup funding, or the form may look different in time, but that'll be down below in the description. I believe we've covered everything. There'd be this document maybe, or the video that I said on the 0% interest for 6 to 18 months and up to 150,000 more or less. There's so much more that I can unpack in this video about bad practices, which is one of them. Going on Google, Bing, or whatever one, just searching business loan for restaurants, but coming across the wrong channel, and you end up thinking, okay, is that the right place to go to, or is that not the right place to turn to? And it may not be me. You'll notice once you click through, if it's a listing, it's me, and that's one that I would recommend with Viral Funding Solutions. At viralfundingsolutions.com is one to check out, and that's where you will be able to get the best that I believe you can get. So let me move this over and just show you before we get going. So right here with Viral Funding Solutions, you can see more. These are my services. I offer a lot more to learn about myself, why work with Viral, and experience. With the many years of experience, you can see that there. Versatility, integrity, loyalty, I value very heavily. So if you're not somebody who I can build that with, or I will, but then you just cross lines. I've had people do that. Not very always do they do that. Very rare. I've had people do that though. They go somewhere else and they didn't value the loyalty, and they didn't get what's best anyways. And so they realized that dang, they messed up. They should have come to me again for more funding, or the first time around, et cetera, et cetera. So that's another point. From my perspective, I've been in your position if you're just starting a business or you are in business. I worked 9 to 5 a long time ago, some time ago, and being in that position where I was I wasn't being, I was underpaid. Let's say that. The word I was looking for is over promised, or undervalued, and company went down under. A few things happened, and I started venturing now, figuring out how to start a digital business. I have a digital marketing agency, affiliate marketing ones. I have this one as my primary one, and other ventures. And so I'm there along the way with you. I understand how to build personal business credit. I know when you should, when you shouldn't take out other loans, or what are these advances about? What is this online bank term loan? Is that right for me? Is it not? And I'm up in the markets. So that's going to be the end of this video. There's so much more I can get into, but be careful about who you accept into your own ecosystem. You want somebody who will care about you as a person as well as in business, who will not overpromise and underdeliver, overwhelm you, have you feeling like you are just suffocating. You're like, oh. And day to day, you're just sitting at your desk, or you're wondering by sitting on your couch with the television on, or you're not even looking at it. You're just flipping through channels just to flip through channels there, and just trying to suck up all this entertainment and hoping that that just clears your mind, and subconsciously, unconsciously, and it just ends up backfiring a lot of times. Been there, done that, and I won't go through that myself ever again. And I wouldn't want to give my businesses to somebody that won't value me and won't value my businesses and doesn't understand what they're doing, is not an expert in it, at least for me at this point. So that is everything for me. Look down below in the description. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with others who you feel will get value out of it. It can be a complete stranger, friend, or family member. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content I will be coming out with. That is all for now. Take care.